Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. We are in video 5 of 5 in the Spruced Up Mega Stamp-A-Stack. Now we have made 14 cards with this awesome bold color palette using the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. Our last design is this Merry Christmas card. And if you missed video number 3, we made Happy Christmas, and our kit makes 4 of that card. If you missed design number 2, we've got Merry Christmas, and our kit makes 4 of that design. And in design number 1, Happy Christmas, our kit makes 3 of this design. So when we finish up this one, we'll have stamped a stack of 15 cards. And this is our Spruced Up Mega Stamp-A-Stack class packet. Now these are available while supplies last, and you'll receive half a package of iridescent pearls, 3 1/3 yards of black and white gingham ribbon, 2 each of 6x6 host exclusive Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper, 15 card bases, 15 envelopes. The basic die cutting is done for you. We don't do anything with the Spruced Up bundle. We can't do those stamping. And you'll get the basic black cardstock, a nice stack of it to line the front of your cards with an embossed of your choice. You get basic white cardstock to line the inside of all of these cards, nice and easy. It'll be a simple stamping and simple card writing when it comes time to send out 25 or 30 or 130 Christmas cards. You also will get all the colored cardstock that you need to do your stars and your trees, plus a little something extra in there from me. So to see if we have these optional class packets available, get a head start, get our help getting your Christmas cards done, check out kitchentablestamper.com/shop. When you get there, on the right hand side, you'll see a menu where you can drop down and see all the class or all the categories. We have over 60 online classes, lots of tutorials, and class packets. Use that drop-down menu to filter for class packets. You'll be able to see if we've got these Spruced Up Mega Stamp-A-Stack packets or any other fun classes there waiting for you. All right, so in the Getting Started video, which was the first video in this series, we did our inner and outer liners. So we've got our inside stamped, our outside embossed, and we also cut our designer series paper. So check out that Getting Started video if you're gonna do the Stamp-A-Stack. If you've got the kit, inside the kit, you'll find your basic black card base. It's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then your basic die cutting is done for you. It's a great head start for your Christmas cards this year. We've got the largest clip corner tag, cut that from basic white for you. Got the D enforcer for your tag. We cut that from Poppy Parade for you. That's a tailor-made tags dies, just in case you're cutting your own. All right, so let's pick up where we left off in the Getting Started video. And we're going to burnish our score line. Your card bases come scored for you and in the envelope. So once you put them together, they're ready to send. All right, now a little bit of liquid glue. We're gonna adhere our embossed panel. This is 4 by 5 1/4. It goes outside. Don't think there's really an upside or a downside to this. I think the music goes both ways off the line, so you can't go wrong. That's the Merry Melody embossing folder that we used. You can use any one of your choice. And in the Getting Started video, we did all 15 for our cards. We also used the Stamparatus to make the inside of our cards fast and easy. Did all 15 liners at one time. We cut our designer series paper, and there is a video to show you how to use the 2 6x6 sheets or one of the 2 6x6 sheets in the most economical manner. Get the biggest scraps, use the least amount of paper, but still get 15 cards. So check out the Getting Started video if you want your cards to look just like mine. Now you have all this glorious paper in the packet. You can absolutely mix and match any patterns you want. If you're following along, you can use the same layout with whatever papers you have. These are all 1 by 4 inch strips. Before I burnish anything down, I'm going to just check that I like the placement with the liquid glue. I love liquid glue. It gives me a chance to just slide a little bit if I want to adjust my design, and then I can burnish down. Let's add a bit of liquid glue, just a touch, on this de-enforcer. I love the little pop of color it adds to our tag. Just tag that right on there. Going to turn over and glue our tag. I lined up the edge of the tag with the edge of the emboss, and it's a little bit low of center. Now the next thing I did is probably going to surprise you a little bit, because generally I go to the end to embellish, but with this card I went ahead and tied my bow and then adhered it to the front of the card. Now when you're doing this Stampin' Stack style, out of the 15 cards, 11 of them have bows. So I would go ahead and tie all of my bows all at once. You need maybe about 9 inches, but if you tie it right on the spool, you'll get the most efficient, effective use of your ribbon. And when you're done with all the cards, because this is my last bow for this Stampin' Stack, you'll have a bit of extra ribbon to play with. Maybe make a matching gift bag. There's one on the blog. All right, I'm going to use a mini glue dot just in the center of my bow and place it in the little open space there on the tag. All right, let's do some stamping. I'm going to get some ink pads and my Stampin' Pierce mat. All right, I've got Granny Apple Green, Pacific Point, Poppy Parade, and Shaded Spruce. You got some half sheets of basic white cardstock in the kit. So we're going to use those scraps that I have left. I, by the magic of television, did my other 3 copies of this card. So this is what I've got left here. I'm going to stamp a big tree. You're going to stamp all of your big trees, all of your little trees, all of your presents, all of your ornaments. Just stamp them all for the whole 15 cards all at one time if you're going to make the most efficient Stamp-A-Stack. All right, you got a little present here, and we're going to do it in 3 colors. Got Granny Apple. I think my Granny Apple needs a little ink. So I'm going to stamp once to kind of prime the stamp, and then stamp again. After this stack of cards, it definitely needs some ink. But my Christmas cards are just clicking right along. Right. So I started with the lightest, coolest color. Now I'm going to clean the stamp and go to the next. Now we got a darker but still cool color. And do all of your Pacific Point presents, then switch. We're going to go to Poppy Parade. Now we're doing the warm colors. And do all of your Poppy Parade presents. All right, let's clear away the ink pads and change. We're going to do some embossing next for our ransom note sentiment. All right, I've got Versamark ink and my white embossing powder. Put it in that little tub. It makes it so easy to contain the mess. Got some basic black scraps from the kit here, and I'm going to cut off a strip. I find that it's much easier to take a small strip of cardstock at a time. So I would use the 1/2 inch strips that are left from cutting your liners, your emboss liners, and then cut strips for this ransom note style embossed greeting, because then you can take your greeting, got Christmas here, and then Merry. You can stamp it with Versamark on these strips, and then just take the strip to your embossing powder in the little canister, shake the powder over, tap off the excess right back into the container. The powder never needs to leave the container, and that's what I love about this method of doing your embossing. So now I'll just flick and get the extra. If there's anything that's close to the greeting that I don't want, I'll just use the tip of my scissors or a soft paintbrush and just kind of remove those speckles that I don't want to heat set. There should only be a few because we used our embossing buddy at the beginning, and that embossing buddy is available in the embossing kit, and it will cut the static and like mute any oils that are on the cardstock from your hands from handling it and give you a cleaner embossed image. All right, let's get the lid on that. I said in the last video we don't need any craftastrophes. Speaking of craftastrophes, we are going to use caution with the heat tool. I use a clothespin. Keep this away from surfaces. Do not aim it directly at your surface. Work above your surface, protect your surface, and keep it moving. Keep it about 4 to 6 inches away from the paper and be patient as it changes. And there it is. You definitely want to keep your fingers clear of this device. And I'll just give that a second to cool before you handle it. I'm going to set it aside, grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and my spruced up outline dies. Going to cut these out. I love how Stampin' Up gives us 2 presents, so we can do 2 at once. I'm gonna put the outline dies on all of these and give it a crank. All right, we're combining contrasting outlines in this design, so we're gonna need more than one pass through the machine in order to achieve the look that we're aiming for. So we've cut out our stamped images. Here they are. Now save this little outline because you can mix and match this with the solid trees that we're gonna cut next. There's our outline images. And our little presents. We need one more present, but in order to get the most out of every pass, I'm going to trim out this one that we still need to cut and lay it down in the corner of the machine here. And then next we're gonna grab our shaded spruce and granny apple green cardstock. We have these in the kit, and you can add the adhesive sheets to the back of this cardstock and make your little outlines self-adhesive. It's really awesome product. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to practice some good scrap hygiene here, like I like to call it. We're going to have a split down the middle of our tree here, but that's okay because we're going to use every bit of this adhesive that we can. We don't like to waste any of it. So I'm going to cut this right along the adhesive here. And then I mentioned in the last video, I don't know that you saw it though, we've got a sticky edge. And what we want to do is cut right along the shaded spruce cardstock. That way we can get that sticky edge off so it doesn't get stuck in our machine, but we don't make our scissors all sticky. All right. Now we want to do the same thing with our granny apple green. We're going to add some of this adhesive to the back of the cardstock. And again, we don't want to waste any, so we're only adding as much as we need, kind of as we need it. If you're doing the Stampin' Stack though, you can do all of your pieces at one time, so you can estimate what you'll need for all of them. And then I'm going to do this so we can see exactly where the adhesive is. I'm just going to cut this away. And then now we can get more on our platform as we're cranking. We're going to do our stars also, and our crushed curry pieces have some of this adhesive on the back already. Let's go ahead and give these a crank through with the little tree on shaded spruce and the big tree on granny apple green. And don't forget your stars. We need a large doodly star and 2 of these little kind of bubbly stars. All right, that's going to be the rest of our die cutting for this card. Let's give it a crank. All right, here is our die cut bits. And let me show you this. So from this, we've got a self-adhesive tree. Now you want to save that one, but we're using the outline bit. That's the part we want for the card today. But these little trees are now self-adhesive and they're going to be perfect for another project. So set those aside. Let's get our doodly star and our little bits and get this card assembled. All right, we are on the last leg of a 15 card Stamp-a-Stack, mega Stamp-a-Stack. How are you feeling? Here's our card design. Here's where we left off. Now, this is what's so wonderful about this peel and stick, this adhesive sheet. So you just run your thumb against the edge, and what'll happen is the white will separate away. You don't need to pick, you don't need to scrape. It'll just separate away, and then you can peel the adhesive sheet right off. Now we seamed it, so we're gonna just pick up again on one of the little edges here. Just flick it against the side of your thumb. No need to pick or scratch. No need for fingernails or tools. If you're having any trouble against the side when you have one of these seams, just bend forward from the back and that'll help you out too. All right, so we've got our little tree. And we'll place that dude. Then our other little outline. And we'll place this dude next. Of course, you could drag the tip of your multi-purpose liquid glue bottle right along the edge of this outline and glue it down that way. That's a perfectly easy way to do. Now our star, peel that away and pop it on. Another couple of peel and stick stars. Let's get those on there. Got some black Stampin' Dimensionals. I love the black Stampin' Dimensionals for this bold project. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of my big tree first. Got that beautiful shaded spruce tree that we stamped. Add a little bit to the back here, and then we're going to place it. Then we'll take our smaller tree and we want to just add some adhesive to the right side back here because this is going to overlap our tree that's already dimensional. Place that. Our little presents. We've got the Granny Apple Green one, gets dimensional. The Poppy Parade one gets dimensional. But for some depth of fields, we're going to add some liquid glue to our Pacific Point. Pacific Point, Poppy Parade, they're kind of dancing. Let them kind of toggle back and forth. Presents under the tree. Got our Merry Christmas. Here we go. If you don't know by now, you haven't been hanging out for this series, we're going to cut this ransom note style. And that means we're just going to take a deep breath and we're going to cut. And it might not be perfectly straight, and it might be a little wider on one side, a little narrower on the other side. It does not have to be perfect. Just follow the greeting and trim it out close. It's a ransom note style. It's supposed to be a little wonky. It's going to look great. Just relax and own it. Now, we'll add a little dimensional to the mass side of Christmas. And then we're going to add a little liquid glue to the Christ side of Christmas. And pop that over. Gotta peel that dimensional. There we go. And then we'll take a half dimensional, pop Mary up. Give it kind of an opposite angle, toggle. Cute. All right, we are rounding the end of our Stamp-A-Stack class here. We've got our beautiful iridescent pearls. You're going to have just a few left over for another project. Like I said, check out the coordinating gift bag on the blog. If I think of it, I'll link it below. We're going to add a couple of pearls here to kind of dance with our stars. And there is our Merry Christmas, the final card in our stack. We have done 15 cards today. Merry, Merry Christmas. And Happy Christmas. And Merry, Merry Christmas. It's going to be a Merry, Merry Christmas with all these cards done. And Happy Christmas. If you've got any questions about the projects, the Stamp-A-Stack, the class, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com to check and see if there are spruced up mega Stamp-A-Stack packets still available. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop and use the right-hand menu to filter for class packets and to shop Stampin' Up 24/7. Maybe you are now a fan of the Spruced Up bundle. I love this bundle with its crazy outline, dies, and bold images. You can pick this up. Shop 24/7, MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the next Stamp-A-Stack class. Christmas Scotty's coming. Have a great day, and thanks for being a part of the Kitchen Table Stamper Stamp-A-Stacks.